Hi there, it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts, and I'm almost better, which is just perfect. So thank you all for your wonderful messages. I am so touched that you have sent me all your best wishes and hoping that I get better soon. And I'm pretty close. I'm still a little croaky, but not too bad. So thank you very much, and welcome to Simple Stamping Saturday. Saturday, as you may know, if you are a regular viewer, is the day when I go through showing you how to make a simple project using just a note card and envelope and a stamp set and minimal products, and then I show you how you can step it up if you've got more techniques in your arsenal or more products and that sort of thing. So I'm focusing, because it's still sale-a-bration, I'm focusing on the new sale-a-bration product, which is the Well-Dressed stamp set. This is a level 1 product, so you can get it with just a £45 qualifying order. So it's a perfect male orientated product. I can't remember when we had a male specific sale-a-bration item before. If you know when the last one was, do drop me a comment in the comments below, or drop me a message I should say in the comments below. I can't remember seeing one, but I've only been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for just not quite 4 years, so you know, I don't know everything by a long way. So I am using one stamp today, one stamp, one ink pad, and it's this stamp here. It's the Homburg hat, which I thought was, you know, very dapper. Yesterday, and I'll show you the cards that I made yesterday in a moment, I used these two stamps. I'm going to be using the Stamparatus hinge technique again when we get on to the Casual and Avid Crafter, but I'm going to show you how to do it without the Stamparatus for the simple product, or project rather. So I'm using just the soft suede ink pad. I'm using a very vanilla note card and envelope. These come in packs of 20 cards and 20 envelopes, so it's really easy. The cards are 3.5 by 5 inches, so they're a really nice, slightly smaller size, but a really good size, great for new crafters. They come pre-scored, but don't fold them until you finish stamping. It's much easier to stamp on a flat surface than on something that's wafting in the wind. So I've got my note card, I've got my envelope, I've got my ink pad, and I have my stamp. So I am just going to protect my work surface. I'm just trying to find a piece of scrap paper that isn't really scrappy. Here we go. The only thing you really need to think about here is that this is where the fold is, so you don't want any stamping going above the fold. So I've just got basically 3 hats in each row and 4.5 going across. I may move this across a little bit this time now that I can see the spacing, but that's basically what we're going to aim for. So, ink pad. This is Simple Stamping Saturday. Let me show you how to open an ink pad. So this is the new design. We've had these for about 2 years now, and they're like a compact. So you literally just open them and slide. I tend not to slide it all the way because I find it easier to pull when they're not locked in place, and particularly when they're new, they can be a little bit stiff. So to ink up, place your ink pad down, particularly if you've got a small stamp. If you've got a larger stamp, sometimes I take the ink pad to the stamp, but if you've got a smaller stamp, take your stamp to the ink pad, ink up, just tap on the ink pad 3 times and just have a look. Might do a couple more. But it's worth just remembering you're wanting to tap, not bounce. I mean, not shove. You don't need to see the impression of the stamp in your ink pad. And then I can see that the line is here. So I'm going to come a little bit further across than I did on the original version. And because I can see round my stamp, I'm going to be 1/4 inch down from the top. So there we are. There is our first hat. So I want to have 3 coming down in a row, so I'm just going to line it up so that it's roughly the same orientation on the card. ink up again and do the same again. And just hold your stamp to the paper for a little while so that the ink can transfer across. That one I did a little bit quickly. So next I'm going to ink up my stamp again, and I'm going to come down. If I go up, I'm going to go over that crease, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to come down and have this bit of the brim under that piece of the brim and just stamp. And again, I'm just going to come down and do this 3 times. Simple as that. 1, 2, and 3. So there are my 3 there. And then I'm going to come in again. Just going to move everything across a wee bit. Now this time I want to be level here as well. But again, I'm just going to have the brim so that it is overlapping the brim next to it. So I'm overlapping this brim with this brim, and just very mild, you know, sort of just seeing if I can get it so that it's pretty level with this hat here, and about 1/4 of an inch down is where we're going to aim for. Possibly need to re-ink my ink pad, but it's going to be fine for this. I used it at a class yesterday, so fortunately I was well enough to have my class yesterday. I didn't end up with much voice by the end of the day, but I did manage to have my class. So things are definitely back on the plus side again. So we've got our last row here, and this is going to end up looking more even than my original. So this hat is about the same overlap, or runoff I should say, as the one the other side, which is kind of what we want. And the last one. So that's the card. Now let's do the envelope. So here's my envelope, my flap. I want my flap the right way up. So I'm going to have my envelope above, ink up again, and go for the middle of my envelope flap. I'm not measuring out, I'm just doing it by eye. And again I'm going to come above and to one side, and above and to one side. And there we have 3 Homburgs on our envelope. And that is it. Right, so I did that quickly as well, didn't I? So to close, just pull and reverse the process. So now we've got our envelope, we've got our card stamped, so I can fold that, grab my bone folder. This is invaluable. A good bone folder is worth its weight in gold, and it will last forever. A good one will. So there are our 2 simple cards. That's it. You don't need anything more. If you want a sentiment, there are sentiment stamps in the sale-a-bration offering. There is one that was in the first offering, which was, let me find it, it's this one, Sending You Thoughts. Again, it's a level 1 sale-a-bration item, and it covers all eventualities, so birthdays, congratulations, thinking of you, all those sorts of things. So really good offering. If you want masculine sentiments, then you can't do worse than A Good Man, which I seem to have lost, but A Good Man would be a good one. Now, I have definitely put it somewhere. Terribly helpful. Oh no, I've just not put it away. There we are. So I used this one yesterday, and I will show you yesterday's cards in a moment. If so, you do a great job of being a great guy. Wonderful. So you're the best. It's your day. I grew up loved. I mean, they're not male specific, apart from that one and that one. So yeah, a really good male sentiment set. So there are those cards. Now, if we want to step it up a bit, for my more casual crafter, I have used Whisper White here just to show the difference between using soft suede on Very Vanilla and soft suede on Whisper White. So I've stamped using the Stamparatus and the step technique. And as I say, there was a video yesterday showing how to do that, and it works just as well with the hat. and then I've coloured in with a dark crumb cake stamping blend. These are perfect with our classic ink pads. Our classic ink pads are water-based dye ink, so blends work really well with them if you want a colour outline. Otherwise you want memento if you want a black. So that's all I've done, and then on the inside I've just stamped a hat. And then this is my more stepped up version. So this again uses the step technique, using Versamark ink and copper embossing powder. And I heat embossed each strip as I did it, so that I knew the ink was going to, the Versamark was still going to work. Ooh, I've put a thumbprint in there. That's not very good, is it? Don't want a thumbprint. So let's go in and touch that up so my thumbprint disappears. There we are. Easy. So I've used some of our copper trim across, and then just frayed the ends. You need quite a long piece. It shrinks by about, well, certainly more than half. So you'll end up with it being half the length or less. Then this I did on a separate piece of card and just fussy cut, and just so there was a bit more layering. And I have used dimensionals both to pop the card up and to pop the hat up. So those are my three for today. And then yesterday's cards, which also used the hinge step technique on the Stamparatus, were these two, and I used the zigzag, chevron, and the tie. So it's such a versatile set, and as I say, it's a level 1 set, so £45, and you get it for free. Do remember you can order from me either below or over on my website. Ordering from me does help my business. I really appreciate my customers. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate my customers. If I didn't have my customers, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, and I love doing what I do, so thank you. So if you would like any of these products, they will be listed below. They'll also be over on my website. I'll have some more pictures on my website and some more general sort of chat. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave those below. Do remember to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and subscribe if you don't already. Thank you very much indeed for joining me today. Have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.